Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Y&E podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. We're talking about the president of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, and his plans to create state police. As we all know, Nigerians have been struggling with insecurity for a very long time. I think this insecurity issue started gaining momentum during Goodluck Jonathan's presidency, and up until now, it has increased. It hasn't reduced. And when the insecurity issue started, we thought it started with Boko Haram, and it matured and graduated to kidnappings and graduated to Fulani herdsmen. And even up until now, in some places, we still think that the insecurity issue is still being caused by Fulani herdsmen. And in some places, it's been confirmed that some of the locals are now getting into this criminality lifestyle to be able to make money, kidnap family and friends and make money off of them just to be able to survive. We know it's really bad out there, but the plan of the president of Nigeria to support state policing is definitely a welcome development. But I'm sure they're going to work out all the details as to who's going to fund the state police and who are they going to be responsible for. And when we also think about rolling out state policing, we need to think about how our politicians can actually um, hijack the state police and use it to their favor when it comes to election times or when it comes to shutting people up and shutting down any dissenting voices. So all these things need to be put into place, put into account whenever they're making a decision to roll out the state police ideas that it's currently ongoing in Nigeria. So I think it's a welcome development, and a lot of people will definitely support it and make sure that each state is responsible for their own security. Each governor is responsible for their own security. They can no longer rely on the help of the federal government. We know that the buck stops with the president. At the same time, all the governors need to be pulling their weight as they are the chief security officer of their state so that people can have the confidence in them that they're truly protecting them and they're for the people.
Yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction if done right. But for them to be able to create the state police, I think they have to be devolution of power. As it is currently with our constitution, it's only the federal government that can command the police and the armed forces. So for them to create a state police and truly make them independent of the federal government, it means that they have to be constitutional amendment and then they have to review the constitution and then amend the necessary section of the constitution to allow for true autonomy of the state police. And there are arguments from some quarters about, governors, using them against their quote unquote, their political opponents. Federal government is already doing that. During the elections, we see how they use the police, the armed forces, the military, the navy, all of them. They use them to rig the elections. What would be worse than what the federal government is already doing with the security agencies? If your argument is, your argument against state police is because the governors will use will use them as their, against their political opponents. I would really need you to explain to me what the FG is doing right now with with the federal government police or with the federal police. As it is right now, even though they have commissioner of police at the state levels, the governor self, the commissioner of police or any other police for that matter do not even take order from the state governors. They take order from Abuja, from the IGP, and then, if you are a governor and you are not in the good book of the federal government or you are not in the good book of the IG, Oyo is your name, you will battle with insecurity, you will battle with everything, you will battle with, the IGP, you will battle with the federal government essentially. If you are out of luck, you'll probably be battling with insecurity because the police in your state, you cannot control them, you cannot command them, you cannot give them order. They don't listen to you. So I think this is a very good step. This is a very actually, for everything Tinubu has done, I think this is probably one of the best things he has done so far in my eyes. I think this, is overdue. they're supposed to have done this. We need to have state police, the federal government, there, there shouldn't be federal government police. There should be EFCC, ICPC, and DSS at the federal level. Then at the state level, there should be state police. And I think at the local government level, there should also be, something like a sheriff department because, security or sovereign security, I think is local. It's only the locals that can understand or knows the people that perpetrate crimes. You cannot post somebody from Abia or from Delta State to Meduguri to go and solve crimes. They may be able to solve it, but it probably will take them longer time to do that. But if you are putting somebody from that local, to solve crime, I think they will do it quickly, within budget and then more efficiently and effectively than using an outsider. And even before now, I've always been against the idea of posting commissioner of police, somebody from Nasarawa to Delta State to be the commissioner of police in Delta State. I mean, I have always thought that that is not a very good idea. Why not just have somebody that is from Lagos be commissioner of police in Lagos State? And have somebody that is from Meduguri be commissioner of police in Meduguri so that they can fight the insecurity and then resolve crime more effectively and efficiently.
Yes, I definitely agree with the idea of local policing because if the police officers are from the local communities, like you said, they know who's committing the crime. They're part of the community. They will hear things. They will know things. They will understand each community better, especially if they're living in that community. It'll be easier for them to police. Security will be more guaranteed. I know with this, it can also, if it's not planned properly, if it's not implemented properly, there's also a chance that the local police officers can become gods and they can take laws into their hands and try to overdo things while performing their duties. So I think it's important that they have proper training, not just reallocate federal resources to the state and just continue to move on. If they're going to do that, they want to make sure it train the policeman, policewoman properly in how to de-escalate issues, how to basically make sure that they're living in peace in their community. They need to make sure peace exists amongst the people, and they're not trying to you know, uh, take money or take bribes to make things worse for the people. But I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, like you said. And also, um, talking about the legal aspect of it, you know, no, the president has shown support in changing the constitution in order to be able to pass that security autonomy to the state level to the governor. Just say whenever they're ready to make that constitution change, they should also slip in the electoral reform in the constitution so everybody can be happy because the youth are clamoring for change with the constitution in the part of the electoral reform. I know the president also cares about security. He wants to make sure that insecurity becomes the thing of the past. So whenever he's ready to make changes to fix the insecurity issues, they should remember to also do the electoral reform. So that way the youths, the young people will get what they want. And also everyone will benefit from fixing the insecurity issues all over the country.
I mean, you cannot really overemphasize the need for community policing, since most people that commit crimes are from the locals or are the locals. So it really makes sense to police, the local community with the locals. It really makes sense. And I think that's, the best way to go. And then for some people that are concerned about, state police being corrupt and maybe taking laws into their hand and being high-handedness with the people. I think those are non-issues because even with the federal police that we have right now, those things already exist. As it is today, if a police officer sees you in the middle of nowhere with nobody, with no evidence, it would take the grace of God for you to come out from that situation alive. So if we are concerned that the state police, would degenerate into that or would become that, the federal police is already worse than what might likely come from the state policing. So regardless of what we think, I think this is just a very good step in the right direction if done right, and if the implementation will always be the problem if implemented right. And then I think for this to work, they really need to be completely autonomous. They need to seize the taking order from the president. They need to amend the relevant section of the constitution to allow for complete control of the of the state over the state police. And I think this will serve another purpose. During the election, we see how they use, when they talk about federal money, they're essentially talking about the police, using the police to carry out their electoral malpractices. So I think with this, if they remove the police from the federal government and distribute them to the states and have state police, I think we'll probably begin to have a more qualified people in the position of leadership at the federal level, because at that time, I don't think federal government or the president will have anything to use to rig themselves into power. So the state police will essentially be with the governor, and the governor will be in charge of them. So it means that for the president to be able to use the state police to rig the election, he really has to be in the good book of the governor.
Yeah, that is also important, and I hope they follow through. I know the president is looking towards January 2026, and he wants to act on it as soon as possible. But I just hope they follow through, and it's not just gaslighting people and making people hope for things to come. I really hope that they follow through on this state police policy, and because it'll benefit everybody. I mean, when you pass the torch, when you pass that responsibility off to the state, and if the state is still struggling at that point, then we'll know what the real issue is. Are the governors doing what they're supposed to do? Are they deploying all the resources needed to really combat insecurity? With that being said, that will give each state the opportunity to control how security taken care of in each state.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the president proposing for the creation of state police? Do you think it's a good idea? Or if not, what are your reasons? Let us see what you or hear what you think. Engage us in the comment section. Let us know what you think, and then we'll see you in the comment section. And thank you for listening, and thank you for your support, and have a good night.